You see a photograph of a Mursi woman wearing a wide clay plate in her lower lip. Your first thought may be pain. Your second may be shock. But the real answer is far stranger, because the plate is not simply an ornament placed on a body. It is part of a language about adulthood, identity, beauty, and the right to define yourself. So what are you really looking at? You are looking towards southwestern Ethiopia, between the Omo and Mago rivers, where the Mursi have built lives around cattle, cultivation, kinship, and a difficult landscape. Among many Mursi women, the lower lip has traditionally been pierced during adolescence and gradually stretched with wooden plugs before a clay or wooden plate is worn. The process takes months. The wearer decides how far to stretch it. That detail matters because the popular story usually removes her choice before the real story even begins. You may have heard that the plate's size determines how many cattle a bride is worth. Anthropologist David Turton challenged that claim after decades of work with the Mursi, including his 2004 study in Anthropology Today. Marriage arrangements and bride wealth could already be settled before a girl's lip was cut, and Turton reported no reliable link between plate size and cattle payments. You may also have heard that the practice began to make women unattractive to slave traders. But Mursi explanations do not support that story, and similar forms of lip ornamentation have appeared among different peoples, including men, far beyond the Omo Valley. Why do outsiders keep repeating explanations that the wearers themselves do not give?
Because a dramatic myth feels easier than a complicated human choice. For many wearers, the plate has communicated social adulthood and Mursi identity. It can mark the movement from being seen as a girl to being recognized as a mature woman, connected to mothers, relatives, and generations before her. The body becomes more than biology. It becomes a social message. Researcher Shauna LaTosky learned this during fieldwork with Mursi women in 2004. Her study, later published as Reflections on the Lip Plates of Mursi Women as a Source of Stigma and Self-Esteem, found meanings that shifted between pride and pressure. A woman could value the plate as strength, beauty, and belonging, while also knowing that officials, missionaries, visitors, or neighboring communities might describe it as backward. The same object could raise her status at home and expose her to ridicule elsewhere. Can something make you feel powerful and judged at the same time?
That tension grew when cameras arrived. Tourists often came searching for the most visually dramatic plate, turning a symbol of personhood into a photograph purchased in seconds. Turton documented how women began earning cash from these images, while the encounters often remained tense and unequal. The plate became identity. Then it became income. Then outsiders treated the income as proof that the identity was fake. Kate Nialla Fayers-Kerr's 2012 research pushed the story deeper by placing lip plates beside Mursi body painting and the use of clay, earth, and local materials. Through that wider view, you stop seeing an isolated object and begin seeing a whole relationship between body, environment, healing, appearance, and community. The plate does not float outside Mursi life. It belongs to a larger cultural system. What disappears when one striking image replaces everything around it? Modern life gives you an easy mirror. You alter your hair, clothing, skin, posture, or profile picture to show age, loyalty, beauty, rebellion, professionalism, or belonging. Those choices may feel normal because your community taught you how to read them. A Mursi lip plate can feel unfamiliar for exactly the same reason. You know your own visual language. You have not learned hers. Not every Mursi woman chooses the practice, and traditions change under education, tourism, government pressure, religion, economics, and personal preference. That does not make the tradition frozen, fake, or finished. It makes it human.
Culture survives by being argued over,
So the next time you see a photograph of a Mursi woman wearing a wide clay plate in her lower lip, your first thought may no longer be pain or shock. You may finally see a person deciding how her body will speak.